Every sunrise is the birth of a new day. Every time we awaken to a rebirth of hope. The human consciousness is imprisoned in a system we know as the matrix. And this is what causes illness, despair, depression. And the ayahuasca medicine is here to liberate the human consciousness, to bring about a new way of life, a new understanding, new hope to humanity, to help us understand who we truly are. My name is Rex Thomas. I am the founder of Shamanic Dream Ayahuasca Institute in Brazil, known in Brazil and also in North America as the Shamanic Dream Institute. Everyone who have had contact with the ayahuasca medicine, we all have a life-changing story. And I have worked in corporate training for many years. I trained people in the government of Ontario, in Canada, in transpersonal life coaching, and also corporate training in North America and also in South America, Brazil mostly. My story with ayahuasca goes back in the year 2012 in Peru. Up until then, I had no contact with ayahuasca, nothing. I was never really interested in the medicine. Friends who work with ayahuasca have invited me several times, but I just didn't feel that call. And I guess most people listening to me will relate to that. You just hear about the medicine, but you don't feel the call until some moments. A life-changing moment. And that moment for me was in the Titicaca Island, in the region of Lake Titicaca, specifically Isla Taquili. I was visiting Isla Taquili in 2012, and then I went up to one of those mountains high up, and I was looking over the Titicaca Lake. It looks like you're looking at the sea. It's really immense and is the highest lake in the world. And there I was contemplating the lake, and I could feel the sound of the wind, a slight breeze, and then it got louder and louder. And with the sound of the wind, I could hear the voice of a woman, an elderly woman, very clearly. And it just whispered to my ear, "It is time you know the ayahuasca medicine. It's time you have the contact with ayahuasca medicine." I turned around and there was no one, just myself and the lake. Then from Titicaca, the region of Puno, I went down to Cusco and down to the Sacred Valley in a city called Pisac. And that was where I had contact with a lady who owns a store, well known in Pisac. And in that store, I was just observing people coming in and going out. And they were talking about ayahuasca and how ayahuasca changed their lives. And they were talking to this lady. And then I looked at her and I said, "What do you do?" And she said, "I am Maestra Ayahuasquera. I work with the ayahuasca medicine." And I asked her when she would have her next ayahuasca ceremony. And she looked at me. She didn't answer immediately. But then she offered me the rapé medicine. It is a blend of herbs and tobacco. And you would blow it up the nostrils of the nose. And it's a very beautiful medicine. I accepted. And that was my first experience with rapé. And then she observed me closely. When the effect of the rapé was just fading away, she looked at me and she said, I would have an ayahuasca ceremony tonight. Would you like to participate? I said, yes. You know, the coincidence, just 2 days before, I was at the Titicaca Lake in Isla Taquili, and I heard the voice of this lady. It's time, you know, the ayahuasca medicine. And then there I was in Pisac, Cusco, 2 days after, and I was talking to this lady who is a maestra ayahuasquera. So I went to the ceremony, typical Shipibo ceremony in the dark. And during the ceremony, when I was in the peak of the effect of the medicine, if you've ever had an experience with the ayahuasca medicine, you would understand what I'm saying. When you're at the peak of the effect of the ayahuasca medicine, the universe just opens up to you. You can see the quantum field, the fractals, and you could see the past, the future, all blend into one moment, the present. And I was having this extreme, wonderful, life-changing experience. And then I felt a hand touch my hand. I opened my eyes and I saw this old lady who we know today as Abuela. And she was touching my hand and speaking in a language I could not understand. And then she just blew and touched my forehead. And all of a sudden I could understand. And she took a condor feather and she put the feather in my hand. And she said, I would like for you to heal people just like I'm healing you. And I will be with you always. And then she disappeared. I thought I was having just one of those ayahuasca visions, but then the maestra ayahuasquera conducting the ceremony, she saw this old lady as well. And she looked at me and she said, Rex, tu madre, madre ayahuasca, Abuela. And that was my first contact with Abuela. Afterwards, I came back to Brazil here at my institute, and I was holding a retreat. And in that retreat, I decided to invite friends over who already have the experience in conducting ayahuasca ceremonies. I wanted to have that experience and to offer that experience. And it was during the ceremony, again, she appeared right in the middle of the room, of the temple where we were having the ceremony. And she called me. And then she began to take me around individually to all the people in the ceremony. And she would show me what was happening in their lives. She would talk to me. She would show me sometimes the whole body, the inner body, the working of the organs and visions of their lives. And she would sing songs we call the Icaro. And then she began to teach me and to show me how to work with the ayahuasca medicine for a period of 9 years. And that was how I began to hold ayahuasca ceremonies in Brazil, around Brazil. And after 9 years learning from Abuela, oh, by the way, I later got to understand from the Shipibo tribe in Peru that there are 2 ways to become a maestro ayahuasquero. One is you would follow a shaman and go through shaman training for years and years until you are deemed fit to conduct ceremonies. Another way is a spirit being would visit you in a ceremony and invite you to work with the medicine. And the sign is that spirit being would necessarily have to place a condor feather in your hand. And then afterward, the spirit being would come to you in ceremonies to teach you, to guide you. And that was what happened to me. And after 9 years of conducting what we know today in Brazil and also around the world as the Shamanic Dream Retreat, Abuela then made it known to me that it was time to take this ceremony to the world. She made it very clear that ayahuasca is not for everyone. Ayahuasca is for the world. Ayahuasca is from the rainforest, but ayahuasca is for the world, and that the world needs to have contact with and know the ayahuasca medicine in a language that people can understand. Not in the language of the shamans of the forest, but in a language that can communicate with the world. And it was time to begin to train people who already have had experience with the medicine, and people who feel the calling to work with the ayahuasca medicine. And then we began to train shamans, healers, to work with the ayahuasca medicine here at my institute in Brazil.
Tive o privilégio de começar a minha caminhada como condutora e facilitadora de cerimônias com a sagrada medicina da Ayahuasca neste espaço, com a mentoria de Rex Thomas. De 2021 para cá, já foram realizadas 8 iniciações. Iniciações que preparam as pessoas para serem condutores desta medicina sagrada e transformadora, a Ayahuasca. Mas o mais interessante, a meu ver, é ter a oportunidade de adquirir conhecimentos que não se limitam ao espaço de uma cerimônia, de uma noite, mas sim conhecimentos que facilitam a nossa caminhada na grande cerimônia, que é a cerimônia das nossas vidas.
And when we began this training, which is now known as one of the most complete Ayahuasca Shaman Training in the world, is a training of 18 days. And after the 18 days training, I would continue to guide you and then train you online and accompany your progress and your development as a shaman. The training here at the Institute, which is now done in English, would be a initial 9 days training. During the period of 9 days, you would go through 3 initiation processes. And then you would understand how the ayahuasca medicine is made, the composition of the ayahuasca medicine, and how to conduct a ceremony. And after the initial 9 days, there will be an extension of another 9 days to deepen your knowledge and your experience in conducting in a very safe way, with ample knowledge of how the medicine works and what really happens to people in an ayahuasca ceremony. So we have a complete 18 days Ayahuasca Shaman Training here at the Institute.
Foi uma coisa bem inusitada, né? Eu estava construindo o templo Mão Azul, em Sairé, e eu imaginava que era só para trabalhar com as terapias que eu já trabalhava, com reiki, com o círculo de mulheres, com o que eu já trabalhava. Mas eu acredito que tudo tem um propósito maior, né? A minha amiga Regiane fez o Shamanic Dream aqui, fez uma outra formação e foi fazer uma cerimônia lá. E durante a cerimônia eu me senti convocada pela Madre Ayahuasca para fazer essa formação. Mas eu não acreditei que era para mim. Eu não acreditei que eu poderia ocupar esse lugar, sabe? De me colocar a serviço dela. Eu não sei se eu estava com medo de um sim ou de um não.
Now, what happens during this 18 days training? People would arrive from around Brazil, from around the world, from North America, from Europe. We have received people from all over the world.
A nossa alimentação ela é uma complementação do trabalho da medicina, da ayahuasca. Então a gente segue padrão de alimentação muito saudável, trabalha com alimentos orgânicos, muitas vezes com alimentos silvestres, nativos, colhidos aqui mesmo no próprio Instituto, né? A gente respeita muito a restrição alimentar das pessoas, então a gente se preocupa com a questão da intolerância à lactose, intolerância ao glúten. E a intenção é que essas pessoas se sintam bem e seja um complemento à experiência que eles estão passando.
Then there would be an initial orientation and then the first ceremony, Shamanic Dream Ceremony. During that ceremony, in the middle of the night, Abuela would appear. And then she would call us to the square. It's like right outside in front of the temple where the ceremony is being held in an open space. And that would be the first initiation experience. And during that initiation experience, that is when Abuela would transform the frequencies. She works with frequencies. She would transform the frequencies of those being initiated from the frequency of an aspiring shaman to the frequency of a beginner, a learner. People would describe a feeling, a sensation of an electrical current rush through their body.
A primeira iniciação e sentir de perto a famosa Abuela é um presente. Quando sintonizou, sentir toda aquela energia entrar no meu corpo, fluir, conectar com o cosmos, com a terra, aonde eu falei, eu sou. Simplesmente eu sou. Tudo. O tempo todo. A todo momento.
And then she would ask you to look up to the sky, to the night sky. Then you would look up to the sky and inhale a new life, a new you. And then look down to the earth and exhale your old self. A transformation occurs. An electrical current is felt rushing through the body. And it is necessary to conclude this first initiation to move on to the second initiation. Between the first initiation and the second initiation, we would proceed with the training. There would be a workshop where you would learn to prepare your own shamanic instrument, the drum. You know, in shamanism, which is not a religion, it is the first philosophy, life philosophy, existential philosophy, I would say, and that is shamanism. Every aspect of life you would find shamanism. And love is the first element that I would always tell people you need to be a shaman. Is a deep love that you feel within yourself, within your soul, and wanting to serve from the space of that love is the first thing you need. Is a life of service. It is not a life of just being, having that title of a shaman. A shaman is just a healer. And what we're talking about here is healing through the ayahuasca medicine. And then love is the first medicine that you need to be and to become an ayahuasca healer. And then service. Your voice, your energy, and everything flows out of that space of love. And then we would learn, we would have a workshop where we would build and construct your first shamanic instrument, the drum. Every shaman needs to have a drum.
Presente, né? Eu tenho sorte também de ser acolhido por essa família e ainda assim incluir a minha medicina dentro de uma proposta bem intensa de iniciação. Então a minha parte bem focada mesmo é a iniciação dos tambores, dos ritmos, a expansão do ritmo, o tempo interno, né? E poder honrar o nosso coração de acordo com os reinos e fazer com que isso ainda seja interligado com as intenções da nossa realização. Então é como dar forma aos nossos sonhos, é como se preparar aquilo a vida inteira, é sonhar com algo a vida inteira e acordar.
Hoje foi um dia muito especial para todos, um dia onde a gente reuniu saberes tão ancestrais com algo tão atual aqui no agora. E eu estou muito feliz de poder compartilhar isso com todos e poder levar com muita gratidão todos esses saberes por onde quer que eu passe.
And after this workshop, where you would learn about the instrument, the sound and the rhythm of the drum, and how to use the drum in a ceremony, you would go into other deeper learning processes, preparing you for the second initiation process.
Isso significa que quando tambor toca, todos tocam. Quando tambor canta, não importa onde a gente estiver, todos cantam. Então é uma união.
The second initiation process is done like 3 days following the first. Here are the institutes at the night of the second initiation. You would understand the world of a shaman. A shaman does not work in the light. A shaman is the light that works in the dark. Where is the illness? Why do people come to an ayahuasca ceremony? Because they are in the dark. The illness is in the dark. So a shaman is someone who knows, who understands that you are the light in the dark. So during the second initiation, right in the middle of the night, we would gather around the fireplace, around the bonfire. And all of these initiations are done at the peak of the strength of the medicine, the ayahuasca medicine. So you would be prepared to feel a very heightened level of being in the strength of the medicine. And you have to be very conscious of everything you do, because that is needed to be a shaman, to work with the ayahuasca medicine.
Quando eu resolvi fazer a iniciação do Shamanic Dream, eu sabia que ia ter essa iniciação dentro da mata, só com a tocha, com o povo da floresta, e é a iniciação que eu estou mais ansioso, assim, de verdade mesmo. Então, muito com a expectativa lá em cima de encontrar o povo da floresta, ainda mais essa trilha Portal dos Arcturianos, então pretendo encontrar todos os seres e enfrentar os meus medos e minhas sombras ali e sair mais forte do que eu cheguei, com certeza.
During the night of the second initiation, that is when you will receive for the first time your staff. and then a torch. And then with the staff and the torch, you would go into the forest. Here we have a forest at the Institute, and then there is a trail. And you would have to go through the forest. The torch you are holding would only be able to illuminate a step ahead of you. The rest of the forest is dark. So what does that symbolize? You are the light, and every step you take illuminates the dark. Ayahuasca is a medicine of the night. Ayahuasca is from the forest. This is when you receive the blessing from the spirits of the forest. And this is where you understand who you are. You are the light. And as you take each and every step in the dark through the forest, you would understand, like in life, you don't need to know the second and the third step. You just have to see, understand the first step. When you take that step knowingly, the next step will reveal itself. That is the journey of life, and that is the understanding you need to come to.
Na verdade é uma experiência única, né? E é importante a gente se abrir de corpo e alma, mesmo sabendo que pode não ser fácil. Entrar na floresta, na força da Ayahuasca, é uma experiência realmente diferente e potencializada. Nos colocar em conexão com o lugar de onde vem a madrecita, que é da floresta, mas principalmente para a gente enfrentar os nossos medos e as nossas sombras.
Quando você entra na mata, é uma situação totalmente desconhecida, né? Então a primeira emoção que vem é o medo, mas como nós estamos aqui para justamente nos curar, aprender e trazer esse conhecimento, então eu estou trabalhando bastante a autoconfiança, minha autoconfiança de que os seres da floresta vão nos ajudar da melhor forma possível.
And it is important you conclude the second initiation. Know thyself through this initiation. Understand the origin of the medicine. Understand who you are becoming as a shaman. That is important. When you conclude crossing through the forest, you would be received by the Brazilian native Indians. They will receive you with lots of songs, rejoicing, singing, healing, embracing, and it's a reception from the native Indians here in Brazil. And they are telling you, we now see you, we recognize you, and we recognize what you are becoming, a shaman. When we conclude that second initiation, we would continue the training. And in that training, you will begin to understand more and more about ayahuasca and more about what happens in a ceremony. What people would go through in a ceremony and how to help them. You have to understand where they're at, you have to see it, you have to feel it. You have to be able to see everything and to feel everything that goes on in a ceremony. You will receive that training. There is a reason why Shamanic Dream Retreat is considered one of the most profound and one of the safest ayahuasca ceremony in the world. It is the training. It is one of the most complete Ayahuasca Shaman Training in the world. And then from the preparation, you would also learn how to help people in difficult moments during the ceremony. And you would also learn the first aid. We have a first aid training to prepare you for anything that may happen in a ceremony.
É um grande presente que eu recebi na minha vida. Há um ano atrás eu cheguei nessa casa, nessa família Shamanic Dream, a qual ressignificou a minha vida. Em 8 anos, consagrando a medicina, eu nunca tive tanto aprendizado e tanta informação sobre a sagrada medicina ayahuasca.
And then the Icaros, the songs, the ayahuasca medicine songs. You will learn how to use those songs to help conduct people and help people in the most difficult moments. It is those songs, the Icaros and the medicine songs, that orchestrates the frequencies of the field, the quantum field during an ayahuasca ceremony is orchestrated through those sound frequencies. You will learn to do that.
Minha experiência com a medicina ayahuasca começa tocando em cerimônias dentro do campo da consciência e da força da medicina. Eu entendi que o som que eu faço, o som que se propaga, ele tem um significado muito mais amplo, como medicina, como intenção. E eu passei a querer isso para a minha vida. Eu enxerguei um alcance que eu não tinha enxergado ainda na frequência do som, em 30 anos de carreira que eu tenho. Então fez uma revolução na minha música, na forma de eu me expressar musicalmente. E eu aprendi musicalmente em 3 anos, mais do que em 30 anos de carreira e 40 anos estudando música. Todas as pessoas cantam, parte desse princípio, fazendo elas escutarem a voz interna delas.
La gran águila del cielo vuela ya, el gran cóndor de los Andes.
It is a complete training. And then we get to the third initiation. The third initiation is like 3 days following the second initiation. And that is when you declare yourself. You have gone through profound training. Now you feel, you see, you understand profoundly what it is to be an ayahuasca shaman. And then in the third initiation, right again, once again, in the ceremony. In an ayahuasca ceremony, in the middle of the night, you will be called upon to meet with me and Abuela right in the middle of the temple. And now you are holding your staff, and you are also holding my staff, supporting yourself with both staffs. And then the frequency of Abuela through me would ask you a question. Who are you? And then at that moment, you should be able to feel profoundly in your soul the response. And then you declare to yourself and to the universe, I am an ayahuasca healer. I am curandero ayahuasquero. And once that is said, once that is declared, you become what you have declared yourself to be.
Levantar con el bastón ha sido un momento en el cual estaba en total estado de presencia, y así que afirmando, estoy ayahuasca, estoy curandera, ya no era yo que estava hablando, uma parte de mim superior que estava no controle.
Foi bem forte segurar esse cajado e ancorar desde o começo da existência todos os eus curandeiros e ayahuasqueiros que já passou por essa terra e já caminhou aqui cantando, tocando, o sol nascendo dentro do meu peito, a luz que era meu idioma principal. Curandero ayahuasquero.
E quando sono arrivata al centro e l'abuelita mi stava aspettando col suo cajado, col suo bastone, ti impossessi di un potere, di una forza, di un conoscimento ancestrale, primordiale, ti torni intero, ti torni ayahuasca.
And that concludes the 9 days journey. And then we rest. And the training continues for another 9 days. In the following 9 days, we would go deeper into the understanding of everything and every aspect of the ceremony. And you have gone through the process of initiation. Now you go through the process of a deeper learning of the ayahuasca medicine, of what really happens in the ceremony, detailed process, and then how to access the quantum field and access the Icarus in the quantum field. There will be a moment where you would go back into the forest during the day to listen to the sound of the wind and the sound of the forest. And from that sound, you would connect with the frequencies of the forest to learn how to connect with your own Icaro, your healing sound, and then how to connect with the frequencies of Icarus in a ceremony.
É algo que não tem explicação, é só sentir. É você deixar o seu vazio tomar conta e se entregar para toda essa energia que temos ao nosso redor e que muitas das vezes não nos damos conta de que cada som emitido pela floresta é um Ícaro. E foram esses sons da floresta que fizeram com que o Ícaro, que estava dentro de mim, começasse a fluir, como tudo sendo um só.
One of the most important ability of an Ayahuasca shaman is the ability of extrasensory perception. In this training, you would learn how to connect with your extrasensory perception to orchestrate the frequencies of the quantum field in an ayahuasca ceremony.
Levar essa medicina para o mundo com segurança, qualidade, desta forma, é algo extraordinário. Então, para mim, fazer parte aqui desse time, dessa irmandade, é muito importante. Me sinto segura e também entusiasmada, porque eu faço isso com amor, com alegria, entendendo o meu propósito.
You would also learn during the deeper learning process of the following 9 days, a total of 18 days. You would also learn the process of conducting an ayahuasca ceremony and serving the dose of the medicine just by the frequency of people's name. Someone will say their name, and from the frequency of the name, you know the exact dose to serve. It's a science. Shamanism is a science. And then at the end of the 18 days training, you would feel and then you would know you are prepared to serve the ayahuasca medicine in a very safe way, in a very knowledgeable way. And that is the experience you would go through here at the Rex Thomas Institute, known also as the Shamanic Dream Institute.
Desde esta formação e a entrada como ministro, o que principalmente mudou é a segurança oferecida nas cerimônias. O Shamanic Dream Institute, ele oferece uma bagagem de informação, de sustentação e de uma equipe completa enquanto organização para que qualquer pessoa que entre como ministro possa ofertar essa mesma segurança e vamos chamar de qualidade da cerimônia, devido a este modelo tão incrível que o Shamanic oferece desde antes da pessoa chegar até a saída da pessoa na cerimônia, com um trabalho profundo de ayahuasca. Então é um trabalho de cura profunda.
And from that experience, today we have a registration, a recognition in the United States to serve the medicine legally. So if you are from North America, specifically the United States, after going through this process, you can register to become a minister with the Shamanic Dream Institute, registered and recognized as a religious institution, legally permitted to serve the ayahuasca medicine in the states where ayahuasca is permitted in the United States. We have that registration, we have that recognition. So if you are from the United States, once you've concluded this training, you can then register to become a minister with the Shamanic Dream Institute and conduct ceremonies as you have learned. You have that opportunity. We are taking the ayahuasca medicine to the world in a very loving way, in a very safe way. And we welcome you to be and become a part of this family. If you feel that call in your soul, this is the opportunity to learn how to work with the ayahuasca medicine, how to serve the world through the ayahuasca medicine.
Até então era um mundo, era um universo interno de pensamentos e sentimentos, e aqui a gente pode colocar isso em prática, colocar isso nas conversas, nas mentorias, poder solucionar, né, até mesmo passar pelo aprendizado com integridade mesmo, né, alinhado com o que se vê, aquilo que se pensa e aquilo que se sente, para poder agir. Então, para mim, o grande ganho é a irmandade.
And I would continue to guide you. And we would continue to nourish you, even beyond the 18 days training. Once you become an Ayahuasca Shaman.
Então você recebe uma mentoria, um acompanhamento com vários detalhes e atualizações sobre esse universo de Ayahuasca e como ofertar maior segurança para as pessoas.
I would continue to be your mentor, to guide you, to nourish you, for as long as the journey takes us.
Tem sido uma transformação de toda a realidade. Então eu vejo a importância desse caminho, principalmente como uma semente.
Quiero honrar realmente ese presente inmenso de poder consagrar esa medicina que tiene un alcance para expandir la conciencia que nunca encontré en mi vida. Hace más de 10 años que estudio esos procedimientos de expansión de la conciencia y esa sabiduría, esas conocencias que nos lleva a Rex Tomás son para mí saltos cuánticos y nunca experimenté algo tan fuerte. Estoy inmensamente honrada de ser una curandera y ayahuasquera.
So, blessings from the medicine, blessings from Abuela, and we await you here at the Institute. This is the journey of becoming a shaman here at the Rex Thomas Institute, the Shamanic Dream Ayahuasca Institute. Welcome.
Ush.